What is going on? I've got a pretty cool one here. This is the Medford M-48 flipper. We have the S45VN drop point blade with the black coating. The handle is milled titanium. One thing I noticed right off the bat, and this is something I've noticed with every Medford knife I've ever held or experienced, is that the action, it's just not smooth at all. Like, nothing about the action is on point. The closing detent is trash. I guess you can close it with one hand. That's cool, I suppose. One thing that is alright is the actual design of the flipper tab, but maybe not so much because I can't even get the blade out without flicking the wrist. Look, it's just so stiff. And I always hear people say, oh, you gotta let it break in. You gotta let it break in. How many times I've heard that one about Medford knives, but I've handled so many different Medfords and none of them were smooth at all. So, and it's the year 2024 and we can't design folding knives that just come with a smooth action. Is that too much to ask for? Oh man. And then the lock bar access is non-existent. There's absolutely no cutout for the lock bar. You can access it, I suppose, but it's extremely uncomfortable. The closing detent, in order for you to actuate the lock, you have to get it up here, and then the flipper tab is in the way of your thumb. So you have to actually actuate it down here, which actually physically hurts your thumb. Just this whole surface right here is just kind of a little too aggressive. It could be protruding out more to make it more accessible, and which all that is a shame because everything else about this knife is pretty freaking spot on. It's pretty badass. And at one point a few years ago I almost bought one of these, and I'm starting to feel like I'm glad that I didn't, because these are pricey knives, and personally I like to have, like, I expect a smooth and satisfying action, amongst other things. That's not the only thing I expect from a quality knife, but that's one of the things I expect. And if you can't have that brand new, then what are we doing? Like, same with Chris Reeve knives. We won't even go there, but freaking Medford, dude. They really nailed everything about this knife except for the action, man. Like, even if this thing does break in, the closing detent is still gonna be trash. The lock bar access is still gonna be painful. Alright, let's talk about some things that I actually like about this knife. I actually can appreciate the overall design of this knife. It does look very sleek. It does look like just a very badass knife. Something that I would want to purchase just at first glance. You can get this knife with different colors. I'm not sure about the blade, but I know you can get different scale colors. The pocket clip is a nice pocket clip, deep carry, non-reversible. Well, no, it is reversible actually. Reversible pocket clip, which has got a pretty unique design to it. Has this little, like, milling of a dog on the pocket clip, which is funky. I dig it. Why not? And then it has this cool little, like, spine milling on the front facing scale, which I also dig. And then on the back it says made in the USA. That's one thing I can appreciate about Medford, is that they're made in the USA, which I can appreciate. That's cool and everything, but come on, step up your action game and your lock bar game. All hating aside, this is actually a badass knife, and if it did break in significantly to where the opening action, to where I could open it without flicking my wrist, which I literally cannot do at the moment, then I could see myself maybe carrying it. But until then, I don't know. I don't really want to carry it to break it in. Like, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't sound fun. but that's just me. That might just be my opinion. Let me know what you think about Medford knives in general and your experience with their actions. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my future EDC knife content, and peace.